When nothing is going your way, when the doors are closing, when the people you counted on disappear, when your best doesn't seem good enough. This is the part of the story where most people give up, but not you. This, right here, is where resilience is born. Not in the wins, not in the applause, but in the quiet moments when it would be easier to quit and you don't. You're allowed to feel tired, you're allowed to feel frustrated, but you are not allowed to stop, because the storm you're in now is not your whole story. It's just a chapter. And maybe you're not meant to understand this moment. Maybe you're meant to grow through it. So cry if you need to, rest if you must, but then rise. Rise with shaky legs, rise with a trembling heart, rise with hope, even when hope feels heavy. Your path is not blocked. It's being redirected. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. One day, this pain will become your power. This confusion will become your clarity, and this mess will become your message. When nothing is going your way, remember, sometimes it's because something greater is on its way. Don't give up. You're closer than you think. There will be days when everything you planned falls apart, moments when the path you mapped out so carefully crumbles beneath your feet. You'll question yourself. You'll wonder if all the effort, all the sleepless nights, all the silent prayers were even worth it. And that's okay, because the truth is, growth rarely comes dressed in comfort. It doesn't show up in perfectly tied bows or neatly packaged success stories. It comes in the form of setbacks, heartbreaks, rejections, and unexpected detours. It shows up when the universe whispers, "Not yet," when you were so sure it would say yes. You see, adversity isn't a punishment, it's a teacher. It strips away what no longer serves you. It challenges your ego, tests your patience, and stretches your faith. It reveals the strength you forgot you had. It wakes up the fighter in you. In those moments when nothing is going your way, it's easy to believe that you're stuck, that you're broken, that you've failed. But what if you're actually being shaped? What if you're not falling behind, but being pulled back like an arrow, gaining momentum for a bigger leap forward? Growth doesn't announce itself with clarity. It comes disguised as chaos. It's in the days that feel heavy, it's in the nights that feel endless, and it's in the decisions you make when everything inside of you says give up, but something deeper, something quieter says keep going. Adversity is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your becoming. The challenge you face today could be the very thing that awakens your purpose, sharpens your character, and prepares you for a version of success you never imagined. Resilience doesn't always look like a loud comeback. It's not always a grand speech or a heroic moment for the world to see. More often, it's quiet, unseen, built in the background of your life when no one is watching and nothing is working. It's waking up and showing up even when you're not sure why you still believe. It's holding on to that tiny thread of hope when the rest of you wants to let go. It's continuing to walk through the storm even when your legs are tired and your heart is aching. You don't get stronger in the spotlight. You get stronger in the shadows. In the moments you cry in the shower, take a deep breath, wipe your face, and walk back into the world like you got it all together. That's not pretending, that's resilience. We live in a world that celebrates the outcome, the win, the achievement, the success story. But the real work, the real transformation, it happens in the silence. In the nights you spend wrestling with doubt, in the quiet conversations you have with yourself, reminding your heart to beat with courage when fear is screaming in your ear. It happens when you fail and still choose to begin again, when you feel invisible but decide to keep creating, keep dreaming, keep hoping. Resilience is not a single moment, it's a practice. It's something you build in layers. Every time life knocks you down and you choose to rise, even if it takes time, you become more unshakable, more grounded, more in tune with your strength. So if you're in the middle of the silence right now, if things are moving slow or not at all, if no one is clapping for your efforts, if no one sees your pain, remember that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means something deeper is being formed, not just in your life, but in you. You're allowed to feel. Read that again. Let it sink in. Because somewhere along the way, you may have been taught that strength means silence. That being strong means pushing through without breaking down, without shedding a tear, without ever admitting that it hurts. But that's not strength, that's survival. And there's a difference. Real strength honors your emotions. It doesn't suppress them. It allows you to say, this is hard, without shame. To say, I'm tired, without guilt. To say, I don't know how much longer I can do this and still be worthy of love, compassion, and grace. You are allowed to feel angry. You are allowed to feel sad, lost, confused, even numb. You are allowed to feel all of it. There is no emotion too messy, no feeling too big. Nothing you feel disqualifies you from moving forward. In fact, acknowledging your emotions is what makes progress possible, because you can't heal what you refuse to feel. We live in a culture that celebrates hustle, toughness, and grinding it out. But there is power in pausing. There is strength in softness. There is wisdom in listening to your own heart when it whispers, I need a moment. So give yourself permission to fall apart for a little while. Let the tears come. Let the anger speak. Let the heartbreak breathe. Because your emotions are not weaknesses. They are signals. They are your body's way of telling you what needs care, what needs change, what needs healing. You don't have to numb out. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to apologize for being human. Feeling doesn't make you fragile. It makes you honest, and honesty, especially with yourself, is where the deepest kind of courage lives. There's a difference between stopping and pausing, between giving up and catching your breath. And right now, you might just need rest, not a resignation. We're so conditioned to believe that if we're not constantly moving, we're failing, that if we're not producing, performing, achieving, then we're somehow falling behind. But life is not a race, and your worth is not tied to how much you get done in a day. You're allowed to rest. In fact, you need to rest, because even the strongest souls grow weary. Rest is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the moment your soul whispers, I need a break, so I can keep going. It's not quitting to step back and let yourself breathe. It's not quitting to say, I can't give 100% right now. It's not quitting to admit you're exhausted emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You're not a machine. You're a living, breathing human being with a heart that carries more than most people will ever see. And that heart, it needs care too. Not just pressure, not just responsibility, but space, silence, gentleness. Some days, resilience looks like rest, like staying in bed a little longer, like turning off your phone and shutting out the noise, like making space for stillness so your spirit can catch up with your body. And yet, in that rest, don't confuse pausing with giving up. There is still a fire inside you. It may be flickering, it may be low, but it is not out. You don't need to prove anything right now. You just need to take care of the one who's been trying so hard to hold everything together. Let rest remind you, you are not failing, you are recovering. You are not weak, you are wise enough to honor your limit. You are not done, you are gathering strength for what's next. It's easy to take closed doors personally, to hear a no and let it echo inside your mind like you're not good enough or you're not worthy. It's easy to see detours as delays, to feel like the universe has turned its back on you, when in truth it may be trying to guide you to something better, something you can't see yet. Rejection stings, disappointment cuts deep. But what if what's falling apart is actually falling into place? What if that job you didn't get, that relationship that ended, that plan that crumbled, was never meant to be your forever? What if those things were just stepping stones, sacred misdirections leading you to something far more aligned with who you're becoming? It's hard to see it in the moment. It's hard when your expectations are shattered, when what you thought should work doesn't, when the timeline you mapped out doesn't match the one life seems to be following. But what feels like rejection may simply be redirection. And redirection is grace in disguise. It's a divine course correction. It's the universe saying, not this path, I have something else for you. Trust me, even if it doesn't make sense right now. So many of your greatest blessings, the ones that truly changed your life, probably came after something didn't go your way, after a door slammed shut, after you cried yourself to sleep, after you thought you were at the end, but somehow found the strength to keep walking. There is wisdom in the way life moves, even when it feels unfair, even when it feels slow or strange or senseless. You don't have to understand it all today. You just have to trust that not every no is meant to break you. Some are meant to build you, to break you open in the best way, to clear the space for what's truly meant for you. Sometimes the redirection is the miracle, not the detour, not the delay, but the deliverance from something smaller than what you were made for. It might feel like the end, like everything you've been working toward is slipping through your fingers, like the weight of what you've lost is heavier than anything you can carry. But hear this is not how your story ends. Every great story has a turning point, a moment when the main character is knocked down so hard it feels impossible to rise again. But somehow they do, and that moment, that turning point, becomes the most powerful part of the narrative. You are not at the end. You are at the turning point. This chapter may be filled with pain, uncertainty, silence, or confusion, but a chapter is not the whole book. It's just a piece of the journey, not the conclusion. Don't mistake a hard season for a final sentence. Don't let the weight of today convince you that tomorrow doesn't exist. You've made it through things before that you thought would break you. You've survived nights you thought would never end. You've healed from wounds you thought would never close. That resilience, that fight is still in you. Your story is still being written. And sometimes the best parts don't come right after the beginning. They come after the middle, when everything feels messy and uncertain. That's when the plot starts to shift. That's when growth starts to bloom beneath the surface, even if you can't see it yet. It's okay if the page you're on feels dark. It's okay if you don't know what's next. It's okay if all you can do right now is turn to the next line and keep reading. Because new beginnings often look like painful endings at first, but eventually the light returns. Eventually you'll look back and realize this moment didn't define you, it refined you. You are not stuck. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. This right here is still a part of your becoming. You don't have to rise gracefully. You don't have to rise with perfect timing, flawless words, or steady hands. You just have to rise, even if your legs are trembling, even if your voice cracks, even if your heart still feels unsure, even if everything inside you whispers, I'm not ready. Because rising isn't about being ready. It's about choosing to show up anyway. It's about standing up after life has knocked the wind out of you again. It's about moving forward while your soul is still piecing itself back together. We live in a world that idolizes the polished version of strength, but real strength, real courage, it's messy. It's raw. It's found in the broken pieces, not in the curated highlight reels. It's in the person who gets out of bed when it feels like the heaviest thing to do. It's in the deep breath you take before facing another uncertain day. It's in the decision to hope again, love again, trust again, even after disappointment has bruised your heart. Rising doesn't mean you figured it all out. It means you're refusing to stay buried in the pain. It means you believe, even just a little, that there's more for you than what you're feeling right now. Sometimes rising looks like crying in the shower and still showing up to work. Sometimes it looks like sitting in silence because words are too hard, but not isolating yourself completely. Sometimes it's getting dressed, drinking water, answering that one text, taking that one step. It may not look powerful on the outside, but on the inside, it's revolutionary. It's a declaration that says, I am still here. I still matter. I still believe in something beyond this moment. You don't have to rise like a hero. You just have to rise like you, exactly as you are, imperfect, uncertain, but still trying. There are moments in life when it feels like you're constantly fighting just to stay afloat. Battles that no one else can see, storms that rage quietly inside your mind. And some days it's not about winning, it's about surviving. But here's what you need to know. Not every battle is here to break you. Some are here to build you, to forge something inside you that comfort never could. You may not have chosen the battle you're in. You may not have asked for the heartbreak, the struggle, the setback, the loss. But if you're breathing right now, if you're still standing despite the weight of it all, then that's not weakness. That's proof that something unshakable is being formed within you. Not all pain is punishment. Not all suffering is senseless. Some of it is refining you, sharpening your vision, softening your heart while strengthening your spirit. Because when life puts you in the fire, it's not always to burn you. Sometimes it's to reveal the gold that's been hidden beneath the surface all along. And I know it's hard. I know there are days when you want to surrender, when you wonder if it would be easier to just walk away from the fight entirely. But some battles, they're not meant to stop you. They're meant to strip away the layers of who you were so you can step into who you're meant to be. They show you what truly matters. They teach you what you can live without. They illuminate who you are when there's nothing left to pretend, nothing left to prove. You may be fighting quietly, you may be fighting alone, but you are fighting and that matters. Don't measure your worth by how easy the road is. Don't measure your strength by how polished your life looks. Measure it by the courage it takes to stay in the ring when every part of you wants to give up. Some battles are not detours, they're doorways, not delays, but divine shaping. You may not understand why you're in it now, but one day you'll look back and realize this battle didn't defeat you, it defined you. In a world obsessed with speed, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind, like if you're not sprinting toward your goals, you're not doing enough. But growth doesn't always look fast. Healing doesn't always happen on a schedule. And transformation, it often moves slow, painfully, beautifully slow, but just because it's slow doesn't mean it's not happening. Sometimes progress is loud, the big wins, the visible breakthroughs, but often it's quiet. It's choosing not to give up today, even if you feel like giving up tomorrow. It's showing up for yourself when no one else knows what you're carrying. It's doing the small things, the hard things again and again without applause. And those small steps, they count, every single one of them, even the ones that feel insignificant, even the ones that no one else sees. Because progress isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about honoring your pace, not someone else's timeline. You are not late. You are not behind. You are moving through your life at the exact rhythm meant for you. And yes, there will be seasons where others seem to pass you by, where their chapters look shinier, faster, fuller. But remember, you're not running their race. You're writing your own story. Comparison is a thief. It'll make you question everything beautiful about your journey just because it doesn't look like someone else's highlight reel. But growth isn't a competition, it's a commitment to becoming the kind of person you're proud of, no matter how long it takes. So breathe, trust the slow days, celebrate the inch, not just the mile. Your progress doesn't have to be visible to be valid. Keep moving, even if it's crawling. Even if all you did today was survive, that too is sacred ground. Your pace is not a problem. Your pace is proof that even through the uncertainty, even through the pain, you're still choosing to keep going. Even when it feels like no one understands, even when it seems like you're walking through this storm completely on your own, you're not. You are not the only one who has ever sat in silence, questioning your worth. You are not the only one who has cried behind closed doors, wondering if things will ever change. You are not the only one carrying pain that doesn't have a name or fighting battles that others can't see. Pain has a way of making us feel isolated, like we're the only ones lost in the dark. But the truth is, there are so many hearts out there quietly breaking beside yours. So many people walking through their own silent wars, just hoping to make it to tomorrow. And while your pain is personal, it is not exclusive. There is something strangely sacred in that, in knowing that even when you feel alone, you're part of a greater human story. We're all just trying to find our way, trying to heal, trying to grow, trying to believe that our story still matters, even when it's messy and unfinished. You are not weak for needing support. You are not broken for feeling overwhelmed. You are human, and being human means needing connection, needing reminders, needing someone or something to tell you, hey, I see you. You're not invisible. You matter. Whether it's a friend's voice on the other end of the phone, a stranger's words that reach you at just the right moment, or even the quiet comfort of knowing someone else has felt this too, there are always threads of connection waiting to remind you, you are not alone. Even if no one has the right words, even if no one fully understands what it's like to be you, there is still love, there is still empathy, there is still someone, somewhere rooting for your rise, even if you haven't met them yet. Let that truth settle in your bones. You don't have to carry all of this by yourself. You were never meant to. So if nothing is going your way right now, take a breath, take a pause. But don't take it as a sign to give up, because storms don't last forever and neither will this season. You are still becoming, still healing, still rising. And maybe, just maybe, this moment isn't about things falling apart. Maybe it's about things falling into place, one sacred piece at a time. Keep going. Not because it's easy, not because you have all the answers, but because somewhere deep inside you, there's still a flicker of hope. A whisper that says, there's more for me than this. And that whisper, that's your courage. That's your comeback. That's your crown. Wear it even when it feels heavy, especially then. You're not finished yet.